Saskatchewan's drug crisis and its impact on kids. How many children's lives were lost to illicit drugs? Bus rapid transit back before council. Could detours be ahead for Link? And the Saskatoon chef serving up something special on the international scene.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. More than a dozen children under the age of 5 have died with illicit drugs in their systems. That today from the province's advocate for children and youth. CTV's Stacey Hine on the calls to prevent more Saskatchewan children from getting sick and dying.
The advocate for children and youth says 13 children under the age of 5 had illicit drugs in their system at the time of their death from 2019 to 2025.
This was deeply troubling to learn.
In her annual report, Lisa Broda notes more than 40 instances where children died or were seriously harmed from fentanyl, methamphetamine, or cocaine.
We don't know exactly how it gets in their systems. In inhalation, it could be, like a grain of just being exposed residue. It could be breast milk.
Broda says the data does not reflect the full number of children exposed in Saskatchewan. Meanwhile, the topic was brought up in the legislature.
What does the Premier say to those who know he's not doing enough to stop the death of innocent children?
Any death or a serious injury to a child is a tragedy, and we take that extremely seriously. We're committed to improving existing systems and supports to prevent future harm.
NDP MLA Matt Love called on Premier Scott Moe to sit down with Broda before spring sitting concludes. The Social Services Minister responded saying this.
This is work that we take extremely seriously, and we will be working with the Children and Youth Advocate in the coming weeks.
Broda says one way to address the issue is by expanding services for adults who struggle with substance use.
Children live in families. And so we need to make sure that we're having our intervention and prevention services targeted to the adults who are using these toxic illicit drugs.
Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Meanwhile, the Saskatoon Fire Department isn't expecting overdose calls to slow down anytime soon. The department says crews have seen an increase in overdose calls since Prairie Harm Reduction closed earlier this month after a financial shortfall was discovered. It says over a 3-week period in April, Saskatoon firefighters responded to 301 overdose-related calls. The chief says unlike previous spikes in calls, this trend isn't related to a more toxic batch of drugs circulating. Doug Wiegren told City Council today the rise in calls is expected to continue for the foreseeable future.
Considering different strategies that we can use, for an example, rotating crews, switching out paramedics during the day, things like that. So we're in constant conversations with our officers and our battalion chiefs to monitor this situation.
Wiegren says rotating crews can help address overdose calls and still maintain service to the city. Saskatoon's bus rapid transit program hit a snag at City Council today. The plan for a key route through downtown will need some more work before it gets approved. Keenan Sorokon explains.
I think it fails. It fails by one vote. Yep.
Sweeping changes to First Avenue are on hold. City Council voted against plans for Link that would have seen dedicated bus lanes, 1 lane of traffic each way, and 61 fewer parking stalls along the downtown street. The day started with more than 10 speakers voicing support or denial of the project, with small businesses along the street saying they didn't know about plans until recently and that this won't turn people towards transit for years. And it adds too many hurdles for delivery drivers, quick stops, or emergency crews frequenting the areas outside Midtown Mall.
The concern we're bringing today is that the current design is overkill for the demand that's realistically needed to serve Saskatoon for likely the next 15 to 20 years.
These are not minor details. These are daily operational systems that keep downtown functioning.
While Midtown and transit users urged people to look to the future and see the potential.
The long-term benefits, greater accessibility, increased foot traffic, and a more connected city will far outweigh short-term disruptions.
Communities with effective urban transit flourish, and ones that don't have it don't.
Ultimately, the concept plan was defeated in a 6-5 vote, with councillors having too many questions about specifics that administration said could take a year to provide.
What was the plan on snow? What was the plan on EMS? What did they tell you? Well, they're going to get back to me. And that's a position I can't be in.
Now council will have to wait on high-level plans for how breakdowns, emergencies, and snow removal will be handled before the city goes any further. Keenan Sora-Khan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
3 communities in Saskatchewan are now under local states of emergency because of flooding. Meadow Lake, Elfrost, east of Wynyard, and Invergordon, northeast of Waka, all declaring emergencies. Some highways in the Yorkton area are shut down because of excess water, including sections near Foam Lake and close to the Manitoba border. The Water Security Agency says a combination of spring breakup and rapid snowmelt is driving one of the worst runoff seasons in decades.
Around that Meadow Lake area, it was a 1 in 100 year event that they saw for runoff. That was the most extreme. In other areas, 1 in 25 was really common through a line through Saskatchewan. So it is higher than average.
Officials are advising people to stay off the ice during this melt. Some wise words as the temperature rises over the next few days.
Absolutely, and the melting is going to continue, and in some respects rapidly, because we do have some increasing temperatures that are above seasonal into the 20s for some locations. Right now, in terms of precipitation, really quiet across the prairie provinces. A little something showing up along the foothills of Alberta, and maybe, and this is a lot of ground clutter, but or mostly ground clutter, but there is a possibility of some shower activity, but it is spotty in nature. Generally speaking, we're going to concentrate on the heat, and we'll have those numbers for you later on.
Battleford RCMP say the death of a 36-year-old man in North Battleford is suspicious. Officers were called yesterday afternoon at about 4 o'clock to an alley behind a home on 105th Street. The victim was taken to hospital where he was declared dead. He has been identified as Tyson Mosquito from North Battleford. RCMP are asking anyone who lives in the area to check their security cameras between 3:40 and 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon and to contact police if they see anything suspicious. Saskatoon fire crews were battling flames at a suite in the Pleasant Hill neighborhood. Firefighters smashing out a basement window in the 200 block of Avenue V South to get to the fire. A portion of the street was closed to traffic as emergency crews worked to manage the scene. According to the fire department, everyone inside was able to get out safely and no one was injured. An investigator will now try to determine the cause and damage estimate. Things are looking up at the Saskatoon Airport. According to the Saskatoon Airport Authority, more than 1.5 million passengers used the airport last year. The CEO says operations have been steady, suggesting traffic has returned to pre-pandemic traffic. Renovation on the new arrivals area is scheduled to begin within the next few months.
We supported a broader economic benefit with a total impact of $1.77 billion and almost 11,000 FTE jobs. And perhaps just to put that in perspective, each time our critical aircraft, which is a Boeing 737, arrives and departs here, it generates 1.3 full-time equivalent jobs, almost $52,000 in annual labor income, and over $205,000 total output.
Mayberry described the impact of jet fuel prices on the airport as manageable. Meanwhile, the Saskatchewan government is renewing some subsidies for direct air service between the province and the United States. More than $8 million has been paid out over the last 3 years to maintain flights to Minneapolis and Denver, with continued revenue guarantees required. Wayne Mantika has more.
Saskatchewan had been without direct air service to the United States for a number of years, until the provincial government offered revenue guarantees for airlines. It quickly resulted in air service between Saskatoon and Minneapolis, followed by flights from Regina to Denver and to Minneapolis. The first of several agreements has now expired and is being renewed.
What we've heard from the chamber, we've heard from residents, we've heard from the research community that the access to the U.S. and these direct flights is integral.
The province has renewed an annual $2.2 million revenue guarantee for the flight from Saskatoon to Minneapolis. It had been in place for 3 years. There is 1 year remaining on an annual $500,000 revenue guarantee for a flight from Regina to Minneapolis, and 2 years left on an annual $3.5 million guarantee for air service from Regina to Denver. Combined, just over $8 million has been paid out so far.
The hope is that in the future, these routes can stand on their own. But there's been a lot of headwinds, both in travel demand to the United States, specifically on the leisure side. Some Canadians choosing not to travel as often or even not at all to the United States, but business travel, which these flights are intended for, appears to be quite resilient.
It likely isn't the government's desire to pay out revenue guarantees indefinitely. However, given the rising cost of fuel and airline route cutbacks, the province will maintain the revenue guarantees to ensure that Saskatchewan has direct air service to the U.S. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Saskatchewan Polytechnic is partnering with Ontario Tech University to deliver a new nuclear career accelerator program in Western Canada. The course is an 11-week online program that will help mid-career engineers and technical professionals who are looking to advance within the nuclear sector. It aims to give foundational training in nuclear systems, safety, and regulatory frameworks through applied industry learning. Under the new agreement, Sask Poly would administer the program for Saskatchewan, BC, Alberta, and Manitoba. Sask Poly says this program is answering a call from various levels of government.
It's really answering a call that's coming from governments and decision makers in Western Canada as they're moving into the nuclear space to generate power. We're going to need a workforce that can help create and maintain that infrastructure. And really, a lot of the skills for nuclear we're talking about here can be laid on top of existing skills and existing trades and existing technical occupations that people may have.
Sask Poly says this is another step toward building the Western Canadian Nuclear Training Centre, which will increase the nuclear workforce through additional training opportunities. Another boost today for Saskatchewan Polytechnic's new Saskatoon campus. The school's Students Association announcing a $2 million donation to go toward the new Joseph A. Ramey campus. The donation marks one of the largest student-led contributions for infrastructure in its history. The money is going toward the Time to Rise campaign and will help to pay for the design and construction of student-centered spaces. The new campus will be built at Innovation Saskatchewan on the University of Saskatchewan campus. A former FSIN chief and senator has died. According to the File Hills Capel Tribal Council, Roland Crow worked in various capacities in First Nations governance starting in the 1960s with his home nation of Piapot, notably helping to negotiate the Saskatchewan Treaty Land Title Agreement in 1992 and negotiations that led to the signing of a major gaming agreement in 1995. Crow was given the Saskatchewan Order of Merit in 2017. He died on Tuesday at the age of 82. A new childbirth lodge on the Sturgeon Lake First Nation officially opened today. As Jasmine Pelche reports, people gathered to celebrate the healthcare service years in the making.
This week marks the start of a new chapter for Sturgeon Lake First Nation.
This is an act of self-determination. Sturgeon Lake is asserting jurisdiction over birthing, grounding in our inherent rights and the medicine chest clause to Treaty 6. We expect the Crown, federal and provincial, to honor those promises, to respect our right to exercise that jurisdiction.
Sturgeon Lake First Nation held the official grand opening of the Shirley Bighead Birthing Lodge on Wednesday. Resident midwife Rosina Dacha was brought on 3 years ago.
I'm so happy I'm alive on this special day to see this happen, to see this beautiful building. Then I couldn't really see it, but now I do see it. And I think it's a great honor for this community to allow me to be a helper.
The birthing lodge is designed for mothers from Sturgeon Lake and nearby First Nations to give birth in alignment with traditional practice. The lodge is named in memory of Shirley Bighead, a community member who dedicated her time to healthcare in Sturgeon Lake.
We'll keep working with our partners to secure the long-term funding this lodge needs, and we won't stop until the work is properly resourced.
Indigenous Services Canada has contributed more than $20 million to the development of the lodge.
We got some work ahead of us. We have committed to the chief and council to continue that engagement and to continue a way forward to ensure resourcing of this facility is adequate to maintain the facility, right, that going forward.
So far, Indigenous Services Canada has committed to $680,000 of support annually for programs and services. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Sturgeon Lake.
Saskatoon's culinary scene is cooking with gas and now getting a taste of the global spotlight. A local restaurateur is making international headlines, helping Saskatoon gain attention. Carla Schenkrick with that story.
This is our raspberry cordial that we make from the raspberries from my mom's yard.
It's that commitment to local sustainable ingredients that earned Jason Strohan a top 3 finish in a worldwide brandy contest.
So we take that raw product from here in the city and turn it into different cordials and syrups and for the bar to make cocktails with, and chutneys and desserts for St. Tropez to use in the restaurant.
He took over St. Tropez Bistro after working for his parents in every position in the business, and then he and his wife expanded, opening a cocktail bar upstairs.
Now I'm a bartender occasionally, making cocktails, and after a while with that, it was a lot of fun, and I thought I'd enter some competitions. So
the most recent competition earlier this month in Barcelona was the Torres Brandy Zero Challenge. His winning concept, Forgotten Fruit, went up against entries from 11 countries. It won because it goes beyond just using great tasting local ingredients.
So this is really reducing a lot of transportation CO2 emissions and utilizing a great high-quality local product.
And in the summer, they also grow about 30% of their herbs, lettuce, and other produce here on their rooftop garden.
Consumers now are definitely more aware and want to support local. They're more conscious.
The global success has him answering lots of questions about our province in the process.
Saskatoon, do you guys have cocktail bars there? And can you grow fruit? And it's, really, we're not that far north. We do have a fantastic growing season.
For now, Strohan hopes to continue pushing creative boundaries.
All it takes is one cocktail that can change your life. And definitely that, I think, is very apparent with what Jay has accomplished with just entering cocktail competitions.
The couple plans to keep shaking things up and enter more competitions. Carla Schenkrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Still to come, the cost of the U.S.-Israeli war in the Middle East with Iran adds up. Also, what the Bank of Canada's latest rate decision means for businesses' bottom line. You're watching CTV News Live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us tonight. As expected, the Bank of Canada kept its benchmark interest rate steady at 2.25%, with Governor Tiff Macklem saying global events will be watched closely along with inflation. He also laid out possible scenarios Canada could face. Annie Bergeron-Oliver on maintaining the status quo for now and what it means for business and housing.
At Parkview Moving, the high cost of gas is making it harder and harder to run a profitable business, offering short and long-haul moves.
It's very difficult, and we don't want to pass that extra burden or cost on to our clients, so we're absorbing a lot of that cost ourselves.
And they're not alone. The war in Iran is driving up oil prices and squeezing both Canadian businesses and consumers. That spike, a main reason the Bank of Canada now sees inflation peaking at 3% this month and staying elevated until early next year when it's projected to return to 2%.
The best thing to do today is maintain the policy interest rate where it is. But I will stress that there is no risk-free path for the policy interest rate.
The bank decided to hold rates steady for now, but admits a lot could change in the coming months. If oil prices stay around $100 a barrel, consecutive rate hikes could be needed. At the same time, the bank says if new U.S. tariffs or trade restrictions are put in place, cuts may be needed to stimulate the economy.
The bank is committed to ensuring that Canadians continue to have confidence in price stability through this period of global upheaval.
So what does this all mean for anyone in the market for a new home? Mortgage experts say now may be the time to lock in a rate.
You can't time the market. The best bet for borrowers right now is to take out a rate hold and a pre-approval, because at least that way you have secured access to whatever today's rate pricing currently is.
With the potential for rate hikes already floated because of high oil prices, many real estate experts say now may be the time the housing market starts to heat up, with more buyers jumping off the sidelines. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Pentagon says the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran has cost the U.S. military an estimated $25 billion so far. The Americans are trying to squeeze Iran's oil exports with a naval blockage intended to force it to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. But Tehran has pledged to continue disrupting shipping through the waterway as long as it is threatened. Today, Donald Trump urged the Iranians to, quote, get smart and sign a peace deal. The U.S. president has said Tehran can call if it wants to talk. The families of mass shooting victims in Tumbler Ridge, BC are suing OpenAI and its CEO, Sam Altman. Lawsuits launched in U.S. federal court in San Francisco allege the tech company identified the shooter as a credible threat 8 months before the attack, but did not warn police. The lawsuit also accuses OpenAI of not alerting police because it would have exposed the volume of violence-related conversations on ChatGPT, potentially jeopardizing the company's path to a nearly $1 trillion initial public offering. 9 people, including several children, were killed in the shooting in Tumbler Ridge in February. A Regina man is sharing his ordeal after he was almost scammed out of nearly $4,000. He was selling vintage car parts online. Sierra D'Souza Butts on the steps he took and how others can avoid these scams in the future.
Before inheriting his father's 1969 Ford Mustang, John Smith says he fondly remembers the road trips he would take with his dad during the summer.
We were always busy because he was an auto body man and a painter, and that's what we did in our summers. And we traveled all over to buy these cars. We went as far as Columbus, Ohio, and brought them back.
After Smith's father passed away in 2021, he stopped using the vintage vehicle and eventually sold it.
The car meant a lot to me. I miss it, but it just wasn't the same without my dad.
Smith decided to put an ad on Kijiji to sell the leftover car parts. A potential buyer sent him a check of $3,800, which was over the asking price of $1,000. After going to police, he took the check to the bank where they advised him it was fraudulent.
Luckily, I didn't send my parts because they said he would have got away with those, and I would have been out my parts and had to pay this money back.
There's always a sense of urgency with most types of fraud.
The Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre advises people to be cautious when buying and selling online and to take their time when exchanging information.
It's just a matter of knowing what to watch for. Fraudsters are there on marketplace sites online.
Also encouraging people to continue speaking out about their experience through online markets to help spread awareness.
It's a matter of having these open conversations that at the end of the day educate each other, our networks, our friends, our family members, and it protects ourselves from being victimized.
That's what prompted Smith to share his story.
A lot of scam going on, and I just want people to be aware that, cover all your bases and check stuff first before you react.
People are advised to contact their local police or submit a report online to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre to report any financial losses due to online scams. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
My name's Claire Middleton, and my play, First On, Last Off, is in 25th Street Theatres Behind Closed Doors. It's a series of 6 plays that happen all over the city in unusual locations, like a bus. And you can find out more information at 25thstreettheatre.org. The plays happen from April 30th to May 10th, and we need to know what the weather's like because we're going to be all over the city. So, Jeff, tell us.
Did you say please, Claire? Come on. Anyhow, yes, this is going to be quite the adventure. I know you can get it. It's like somebody described it as like folk fest with plays, because you get you can see individual shows, or you can just get a passport and see as many shows as you possibly can. So let's take a look at tomorrow night. Tomorrow's when things open. There will be shows at 6:30, 7:30, and 8:30. Different shows, different times, different locations. So please go online, 25thstreettheater.org. You can get out the time. You can find out the times, tickets, as well as the schedule to when which plays are playing and where they're playing. So it's very interesting. 17 degrees tomorrow, so above seasonal temperature during the day, so it looks like a pleasant evening to be out and about and checking out some interesting theater. 11 degrees for Saskatoon right now, 7 in Prince Albert, and 13 in the Battlefords. Yeah, Prince Albert's been a bit on the cool side compared to Saskatoon and the Battlefords and other locations. It's not particularly windy in Saskatoon and Prince Albert, a little breezier in the Battlefords. 12 degrees for a high in Saskatoon, 3 degrees below seasonal, nowhere near the record warm temperature set in 1939. That was 33 degrees. And look who's back. 1893 with the record cold temperature, minus 16. The sun's going to go down at 8:28.
Coming up, the next Canadian astronaut ready to shoot for the stars. How he and his Canadian colleagues are inspiring the next generation.
Your Morning Minute, presented by Cockwell Group.
Well, farmland real estate markets are ever changing, and thankfully we've got Ted Cockwell to give us a breakdown. Ted, where are land values at in Saskatchewan this spring?
You know, land values, we've kind of ridden this train up the hill, and now they're sort of plateauing. And the market, we're really in a balanced market right now. It's a little slower than we're used to the past few years, but we still have a good number of buyers, a good number of sellers, and we're just kind of like a status quo right now. Nothing too crazy is going on.
All right, so given that, is this a good time to sell?
It's a great time to sell. We're still getting record-setting prices, or at least the record high prices in most areas. Some areas are falling off a bit, but in most areas, record prices.
Perfect. Well, thanks very much, Ted. You can find your experts in the field at cockwellgroup.com. Your Morning Saskatchewan airs weekdays 6 to 9 on CTV and Crave.
All right, taking a quick look through the live lens of Skycam, and ooh, a nice shot of the horizon there, and there's a bit of a curvature to the world. But yes, we've got ourselves a pretty nice sky. It's been a sunny day and warm conditions. A little below seasonal, but comparatively speaking, things are not too bad. Let's take a look at our satellite and radar shot here. And we can tell you that we've got ourselves a relatively quiet situation. There you go. Nothing much going on across Western Canada. Maybe a little bit of precipitation, a little bit unsettled circumstances along the foothills and parts of British Columbia, and maybe a little something showing up in parts of southern Saskatchewan, but really not a big deal comparatively speaking to where we had been in terms of our snow. 11 degrees for Saskatoon right now. 7 in Prince Albert, 13 in the Battlefords, a little breezier in the Battlefords. Waseca, 16 degrees, minus 17 in Key Lake. And as we take a look at what's going on for our temperatures in some of the larger communities, 13 degrees in Lloydminster, 12 in Swift Current. It's 11 in Moose Jaw, and 10 in Regina, 7 in York, and 9 in Estevan. Into central parts of the province, quite a range of temperatures here, though. A chilly 2 degrees right now in Melfort, but it's as warm as 14 in Kindersley and Rosetown. So yes, certainly you can see that line of demarcation north of the Yellowhead in many respects, where temperatures do drop off. Up north, we've got ourselves 9 degrees in Buffalo Narrows and Stony Rapids, 8 in La Ronge, 7 in Key Lake and Collins Bay, a little cooler in Sandy Bay, Island Falls, and 4 degrees in South End. Down south, 14 degrees in Leader. It does cool off to 7 in Melville. We have a number of communities in and around that 8 or 9 degree mark as we make our way towards our future cast. Not seeing a lot of active weather here, and those pressure lines, for the most part, staying far apart. So we've got ourselves not much of a wind expected for Thursday. A little something brewing up in the northeastern part of Saskatchewan along the Manitoba border, but doesn't look like it's going to add up to much. Cloudy or mainly cloudy skies in northern Saskatchewan with temperatures around that 11 or 12 degree mark. A similar pattern, actually it's warmer, but consistently warm in and around the west central parts of the province, in and around 17 degrees. A similar pattern for southwestern Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan. Temperatures in the mid to high teens, and a little bit more sunshine in Maple Creek and Swift Current than in Leader and Outlook. Mainly cloudy skies prevail in the southeast with temperatures of 13 or 14 degrees, and a similar pattern. There you go. I keep saying that, but it's true for east central Saskatchewan. So yes, temperatures below seasonal in many places, but certainly into those mid-teens. -1 overnight for the Ballifers, but warming up to 19 tomorrow, so really jumping up there. 24 on Friday, 19 on Saturday, 22 on Sunday, and 14 on Monday. So yeah, a stretch of warmer than seasonal temperatures, then dropping off a bit, 10 on Tuesday. For Prince Albert area, we've got ourselves -6 overnight, so a bit chilly there, but 14 degrees tomorrow, just a hair below seasonal. 18 on Friday, 15 on Saturday, 18 on Sunday, but then cooling off to 8 on Tuesday. And finally for Saskatoon, an overnight temperature of -2 degrees. Winds out of the north, but they back off tonight. We've got ourselves 18 degrees tomorrow, so above seasonal temperatures for Thursday. Friday, even warmer, 24 big degrees, 19 on Saturday, 22 on Sunday, and 14 on Monday, which is a hair below seasonal, but certainly cooler than seasonal on Tuesday with a high of just 9 degrees. Ariana Grande has unveiled her 8th studio album titled Petal. Grande says the title represents growth, describing it as something full of life pushing through challenges. The new project follows her 2024 album Eternal Sunshine and comes as she prepares to hit the road this summer. Grande's tour kicks off in June, marking her first major tour in several years. The new album drops July 31st. Oprah has signed a new deal with Amazon. The multi-year licensing agreement includes specials that will focus on her favorite things, as well as book club video podcasts. It will also include the 25-season library of The Oprah Winfrey Show. Her shows will still be available on YouTube, along with her new content. The team behind last year's critically acclaimed production of Evita in London confirmed today that a Broadway transfer is in the works. Rachel Ziegler will reprise her Olivier Award-winning performances as Argentina's Eva Perón. Composer Andrew Lloyd Webber said it's exciting to see his work with playwright Tim Rice reimagined in new ways. Evita arrives on Broadway next spring.
Speaking of being on the stage, you wrote checking out Persephone's latest offering.
Yes, and it involves, ghosts.
I was not in the least drunk. Something happened to me last night. Something very peculiar happened to me.
Nonsense.
It isn't nonsense. I know it looks like nonsense in the clear, remorseless light of day, but last night it was far from being nonsense.
Noel Coward's Blithe Spirit is the latest production here at Persephone Theatre. Shannon Blanchett and Tim Bratton are with us today, the two leads in this. Well, there's no leads. There's always, I want to get other actors mad, But for those, this is a play that's been around since, I think, the early 1940s, and it's considered a classic. But for those people who may not be familiar with it, I'm not going to ask you, what's it about?
Blithe Spirit is about a novelist, Charles Condamine, and his wife, Ruth Condamine, who hold a seance as part of research for his newest mystery novel. And unfortunately, something goes wrong, and Charles's first wife, Elvira, appears in the house and seems determined to live with them.
So, as I say, it's been around for over 80 years. What do you think makes this still timely and timeless in some respects?
I mean, I really love the fact that it delves deep into kind of the interpersonal dynamics of marriage and life, and you get to see kind of the tensions that emerge through this. The husband dealing with both of his wives, one living, one dead, and the humor that comes out of all of that. So yeah,
it is, and because it's set in the 1940s, I believe the 1940s. Is it tricky, sort of getting into that? I'll say that time frame?
Well, I will say the dialect work, because we're doing British accents, received pronunciation, and costumes and set do a lot to help us just immerse ourselves in that world.
Blithe Spirit on stage at Persephone Theatre. You can go to persephonetheatre.org to get more information. It runs until the 10th of May. Thank you both, and break a leg.
Thank you.
All right, Jeff, time for a pick of the day. What do you have?
We have a triple hit as per usual. Let's start off with this one here. It comes from Dawn. Hi, Jeff. Saw 3 bun-buns on our crescent. They're starting to change to summer colors. Does that mean I can take my winter tires off? The answer, Dawn, is yes. Yes, you can. But I strongly suggest you put something else on after you've taken them off. Just a hint. It's a pro tip.
You're so full of good ideas, you know?
That's not what you usually say. No. Next one comes from Sherry. And good afternoon, Jeff. My parents took a drive up to Anglin Lake and saw this beautiful pelican. And yes, indeed. And I wonder what that pelican is thinking about this snow. But thank you. And I believe Jackie took the picture here. And finally, from Joan, this is a picture of Tucker, my 12-year-old dog. He loves being outside, and it appears he has found a piece of summer. Yes, a little patch of green there. So good work, Tucker. And if you'd like to share an image with us, you can do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca, and please put pick of the day in the subject line.
Still to come on CTV News, an Alberta astronaut prepares for an out-of-this-world mission. A look at another Canadian first in space.
He's one of the most recognizable names in comedy, and he's coming to Saskatchewan. Thursday on Your Morning, Tom Green on what to expect from his Stompin' Comedy Tour in Regina and Saskatoon.
An astronaut from Alberta is gearing up for his first space mission. He will become the first Canadian to fly under NASA's Commercial Crew program, and it comes fresh on the heels of the Artemis II mission to the moon. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti has more on his journey from the farm to space and how he and other astronauts are inspiring the next generation.
It's been a lifelong journey training for the most important mission of Joshua Kutrick's life, going to space.
I did most of my growing up in the eastern part of the province on a cattle farm. I always remember dreaming about space since probably 6 years of age.
That curiosity pushed him to become a pilot and later an astronaut, a dream that felt further than the moon.
I always considered it something that I was very unlikely to do, and I even feel that a bit today, sitting here a couple months from launch.
Kutrick is one of 4 astronauts assigned to NASA's SpaceX Crew 13, an expedition coming off the tails of another recent mission.
Integrity, good roll pitch.
Millions of people watched last month's Artemis II launch, including these students at Greenview School, celebrating the mission's Canadian success, writing letters to another Canadian astronaut, Jeremy Hansen, who was on the Artemis II mission.
This was a perfect way to integrate current events into our curriculum.
These grade 4-5 students have been learning about space and following the rocket's journey around the moon.
I have this joy in me because I get to write to an astronaut that's been in space.
They use this opportunity to come up with important science-based questions.
I love doing backflips on my trampoline. I was wondering how many backflips or front flips did you do while in space?
Something that Kutrick will find out when he lives on the International Space Station for 6 months conducting health-related research. It'll help deepen our understanding of how humans could live on the moon.
We're just on the cusp of this revolution, really, in space, where things are changing so fast. Access to space is changing so fast.
He'll be launching mid-September from Florida with 3 other crewmates. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
When we come back, which fresh faces are set to join the riders, and later the helping hands on deck at airports in Japan.
Welcome back. Time to take a look at the rural forecast for tomorrow, and it's looking pretty warm. Look at that. Lloydminster, 21 degrees, 18 in Kindersley, 17 in Outlook, and in Spirker, 18 in Meadow Lake. And even if we get over to the other side of the province towards the Manitoba border, temperatures are still in the double digits, maybe a little bit below seasonal, but 13 for Hudson Bay, 12 for Wynyard. And then as we make our way into southern Saskatchewan, towards the western side of the province, a little toastier, temperatures around 19 degrees. And towards the eastern side of the province, well, in and around that 13 or 14 degree mark, dropping down to 12 in some locations, but still manageable numbers. And does that include Edam? Well, it does. 17 degrees, pretty nice conditions there. Winds out of the west at 15, partly cloudy skies. So it looks like it'll be a pretty nice day there in Edam, where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from Sasktel.
The Prince Albert Raiders losing to Medicine Hat in overtime last night.
Smith trying to work it ahead for Hal. Basha takes it away. Now Basha fires from distance. It's blocked. Rebound, they score.
The Raiders and Tigers were tied 1 apiece after 60 minutes. Liam Ruck's 7th goal of the playoffs gives the Medicine Hat Tigers a 2-1 series lead with the 2-1 overtime win. Tigers goalie Jordan Switzer made 37 saves, while Raiders' Mikhail Orshulak 19 of 21. Game 4 is tonight. Game 5 goes Friday in Prince Albert. The CFL Canadian Draft wrapped up last night with the Saskatchewan Roughriders making 8 picks. After the defending Grey Cup champions picked defensive back Malcolm Bell 9th overall, this is who was chosen by the Riders. Here is what GM Jeremy O'Day had to say when asked if his experience makes draft day easier.
I don't think so. I think every draft is different in its own sense. You go in with different needs and wants and what you're trying to accomplish. And every year, you lose free agents, or you move on, or they retire. And so I think it changes with every year. And see, some years we took receivers in the beginning, and sometimes we take DBs, sometimes we take O linemen. But we try to really, try to prepare for the future, create some depth for our team, and I think that's a big part of it.
Meanwhile, some Saskatchewan-born football players had their names called last night, but not by the Riders. Regina's Charlie Parks plays for the University of Saskatchewan Huskies. He was picked 31st overall by Ottawa. Parks led the conference with 5 quarterback sacks last season. Also, Regina product Ethan Graham went 54th overall to the BC Lions. And another Husky, Jack Warwick, was picked 71st overall by Calgary. Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon is just over $1.75 a litre. The lowest price in town is $1.59.9. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco dropped $2.86 today, and Nutrien finished the day at $101.43. Coming up, Saskatoon finally gets set to swing into the season. Then the humanoid bots helping with baggage at Tokyo's airport.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here tonight on CTV, starting at 7 with Master Chef. Well, Jeff, golfers can finally swing into the season at local golf courses later this week. The city of Saskatoon announcing that Holiday Park, Wildwood, and Silverwood golf courses will open at noon on Friday. People can reserve their tee times online and by phone. The hours for the driving ranges at Holiday Park and Silverwood, they vary depending on the day, so it's really best to check the city's website for times. This news, Jeff, comes with a but. Range hours are weather dependent. So I feel like you really do need to come through for all the golfers out there.
Well, as long as the cold doesn't keep them away, it doesn't look like there's much in the way of precipitation to stop things. So, yes, I think the driving ranges were open for 5 seconds earlier in the season.
Keep our fingers crossed for the golfers. All right, Japanese baggage handlers will soon be joined by robotic colleagues at Tokyo's main international airport. Starting next month, Japan Airlines will begin a 2-year trial that will see humanoid robots help with baggage handling and cleaning aircraft cabins. The country's airline industry currently faces an aging and shrinking workforce, as well as increased loads fueled by a sharp rise in visitors. Japan saw record tourist numbers in February with nearly 3.5 million travelers visiting the country. That was up more than 6%. And look, he's friendly too.
He is. He's waiting for now.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well,
All right.
Helping hand.
Aliens approaching.
So there you go. There's your latest robot news.
I know. Thank you, Magnus. Magnus, robot hunter, fighter. Anyhow, let's talk a little bit about tomorrow's weather, and it looks like it's going to be pretty decent. We can tell you that tomorrow morning at 9, about 5 degrees, but by noon, 11, and mid-afternoon, about 17 degrees, which is above seasonal. Seasonal for this time of year, Saskatoon, around 15 degrees. By 5 o'clock, still at 16 degrees. So not bad at all. And Friday's looking even warmer.
I'm looking forward to that.
Exactly. Look at that. All purple today.
I didn't even send you a memo this time.
You didn't.
It happened.
To psychic.
You copied.
I copied.
Thanks for watching.
That's right. That's right.